Sadhguru's official YouTube channel uploaded a video a while back. It's been more than a year, I think. And given that the video was based on the consumption of animal products, I decided that I should make a response video for it. So let's not beat around the bush and begin.
Are you vegetarian or non-vegetarian?
I'm a humanitarian.
Humanitarian!
Instead of answering the question in a clear manner, Sadhguru says that he's a humanitarian. And to be honest, I'm not surprised. This is a typical Sadhguru thing, where he deviates from the original question and he takes people's attention away from the main subject. I mean, it wasn't a rocket science question after all. He could have easily answered it in terms of whether he is vegetarian or not. A simple, yes, I'm vegetarian or no, I'm not would have sufficed. But this is just the beginning. Sadhguru is going to make arguments much more mediocre than this.
Say, today there's substantial documentation to show that plants are as sensitive as any other creature. So whether you eat a plant or an animal or whatever, it is still violence.
Yes, there's substantial documentation to show that plants are sensitive, and sensitive in the sense that they can respond to their external environment and external stimuli in some ways. But there is no substantial documentation to show that plants are sensitive as much as animals, which matters the most, because this difference allows the latter to experience pain that plants can't. Sadhguru is so naive to believe that violence inflicted on a plant is same as the violence inflicted on an animal. Yes, an animal who is capable of feeling far superior sensory experiences than a plant. It's just ridiculous. Can you be cruel to a plant? I cannot for the life of me see how. I mean, even if you kill a plant unnecessarily, I would just probably say casually that it was wrong at most. I wouldn't even think of calling it cruel or unethical. Maybe I wouldn't even call it wrong. That's insane.
Only thing is they don't scream. They do scream, you don't hear, that's all. There's enough evidence to show that they do scream. It has been recorded like this, that if let's say an animal comes, see among the trees, let's say there are, let's say 1,000 or 10,000 trees here. Let us say an elephant came and starts eating the leaves of the tree. Immediately this tree will send messages to all its species that it is being eaten by whatever. I don't know whether it'll recognize an elephant or not, but it is being eaten like this. And within minutes, if the elephant goes there to the other trees, all the trees would have produced a certain amount of poisonous material in their leaves. When the elephant tries to eat that, it'll taste bitter and it's poisonous, so it won't touch. So among themselves there is that much sensitivity. So whether you pluck a fruit or a vegetable or cut an animal and eat, everything is cruel.
Another typical Sadhguru thing, the use of distorted scientific facts intelligently to show that something is true, which in reality is not. Plants are cool and fascinating, there's no doubt about that. And they do a number of molecular responses to protect themselves. These chemical responses can be used to poison the enemy, alert surrounding plants to potential dangers, just like the tree in Sadhguru's story alerted surrounding trees because an elephant was eating it. But come on, Sadhguru, come on. This emission of chemicals in self-defense can't be called as screaming, and to attribute animal-like characteristics or behavior to plants or trees is nonsensical, to say the least. There is no reputable study to show that plants feel pain. They lack the nervous system and brain necessary for this to happen. They neither have a mechanism for feeling pain nor a brain to experience things like suffering or screaming. Plants don't have a nervous system, but they can respond to external stimuli, as I said earlier. They can detect when they are damaged, they emit chemicals when their leaves are fed upon by enemies, and they also do a lot of other interesting things. I must say this is impressive, but does not demonstrate in any way that plants can feel pain. No nerves are involved. It's just chemistry, similar to how your skin increases melanin production when exposed to sunlight. But then you might say that when animals go through pain, it's also the result of chemical reactions, right? Yes, it is. I'm not denying that. But animals also have the complex machinery to convert these electrical signals into actual conscious experience, something that plants completely lack. So the stories that plants feel pain or scream are 100% garbage. So is the Sadhguru's claim that it is cruel to eat plants. It's not only irrational to claim this, but it is also very, very disrespectful to those billions of farm animals who really suffer, unlike plants.
It is just that we must do it with some sensitivity, only to the extent it's necessary.
Only to the extent it's necessary. This statement, in my opinion, does not mean anything without context. If he means that we should only eat to the extent it's necessary, then I don't see how this argument has anything to do with this veg and non-veg discussion. And if he means that we should only cause suffering to the extent it's necessary, then I agree. But then Sadhguru, going by this principle, should also say that we should stop consuming meat, given that consuming meat causes more suffering, and also eating meat is not necessary, given that there are viable plant-based alternatives available that we can consume. But then why would Sadhguru say this, given that he believes that it is equally cruel to kill a plant and an animal?
You should drop this idea of being a foodie. We all eat food. We must eat food, otherwise it'll be cruel to this one. But becoming an identity with food, not right.
कहना क्या चाहता है ये बंदा यार? क्या कहना चाहता है? फूड, उसके बाद आइडेंटिटी, क्या ये है क्या? कमाल होती है यार.
Because that means we will indulge, we will not just nourish ourselves. We have a right to nourish ourselves. As a life, we have a right to nourish ourselves because this is how the food cycle is in the world.
फूड साइकिल? यार ऐसा लग रहा है जैसे एक नॉन वीगन एपोलॉजिस्ट बात कर रहा है. Almost every time there is a discussion about veganism or vegetarianism, someone comes up to excuse their consumption of animals with an argument like, this is food cycle, we have the right to eat any animal we want. Bro, this is not. This is not food cycle. The ecosystem wouldn't fall apart if you stop eating animals.
But we don't have a right to wantonly take another life just for pleasure. We have no business to do that. We have every right to nourish this life, but we have no right to enjoy taking another life. So don't call yourself a foodie, because food should never become the identity.
Yes, we have the right to nourish this life, but we don't have the right to kill an innocent animal unnecessarily just to satisfy our taste buds. What is this buffoonery? Seriously.
For survival, for nourishment, we will eat whatever we have to eat, given the moment. Thank you.
Thank you.
We will eat whatever we have at the moment. This too is a meaningless statement, given that meat eating is a choice in the modern world, not a matter of life and death. We are not stranded on a desert island, Sadhguru, that we will have to eat whatever we have at the moment. Please stop this. Please. This video ends here, but Sadhguru nowhere in the video answered whether he's vegetarian or not. This is Jaggi Vasudev's irrationalism hiding under a carpet of reasonableness. Goodbye and thank you for watching.